ado, I'm going to bring on my first guest, Miss Sharon Burton. Hello, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you, Dr. Rhonda?
I'm wonderful. I'm serious. I really enjoy this show and just getting to know people. And we were talking before the show started, and I love it. Not only are you local to the DMV, but we're basically neighbors. You're like right down the street.
Yeah, and that's very unusual. That's very unusual. And I was like, wow, that's interesting. But it's a I'm really happy to be on this program. And as I shared with you earlier, I've been watching a lot of your episodes and I've been following you because we have at least one person in common. And,
Yes.
I admire how you have been working with your publishing program and company. And, definitely really needed. I had you on my list from when I knew I was going to publish this book. I said, yeah, I got to reach out to her. So thank you for having me on the show. And we're Divine Nine, fellow Divine Niners. So that's a
Love
good
that
thing.
too.
Yeah, yeah. I was like, oh, okay, yeah, let's do this. Let's do this.
I like what it is that you're doing, and I was wondering what is the average age of the people who sign up with you, because it seems like this is people like, for instance, older people who maybe they're looking for a different path now, or maybe they're looking for something a little bit different. They've been working all of their lives and now they want to do something creative because they still want to make an impact. And so that's kind of who I picture when I think of your client. But is that kind of off base?
No, that's right on schedule. Most of my clients are about 45 and above.
Yeah.
Um, I've been working primarily with a creative aging program for the last year and a half with an outfit called Artworks Now, which is based in Hyattsville, Maryland, in the
Okay.
DMV area. And those clients, those folks tend to be, well, that program is designed for 55 and over. So I had to wait till I was 55 to actually do to do the start, facilitating the workshop. But anyway, and a lot of them are retired. I would say most of them are in their early to mid 60s, with a few people hitting 70 and 80 and even close to 80. And it's been such a joy working with them. They're my favorite group to work with because a lot of them have retired or about to retire, and they are really trying to get into their art. And it's really about developing their confidence and feeling good about, indulging in this. Some of them have been artists and writers for, throughout their lives, and some of them are just getting into it. So, it's been a joy working with them. But that's my favorite group to work with. But for the most part, with most of my workshops, they've been mostly people over 40. So I would
Okay.
say maybe mid 40s to early 60s.
Yeah, that's kind of what I pictured, because I think at, that's the age group, their contribution has been through work and family, mostly as Black women. We are so programmed to think that when we put ourselves first, that we're being selfish and that we're not giving. And so we put everything ahead of us. And then even when we want to do something for ourselves, something in our mind tells us that it's frivolous,
And that's the thing.
that, we need to be doing that.
Yeah, and that's why I talk about creativity as a form of self-care. I have a chapter about that because we think about, massages and getting the nails done and going to some
Yes.
fancy place, but we don't talk about many people do a creative, activity as a way to relax, but we don't think of it as this is still a part of your self-care. If
Mm.
you like doing art and those types of things. And I talk about, it doesn't have to be a commercial thing. It doesn't have to be something you got to sell, right? It can be something that just relaxes you. You talk about doodling. People always talk about that. I've been doodling all my life, in meetings and everything else. And a lot of times it relaxes me. Sometimes doodling helps you concentrate more on what's going
Yeah.
on, without the
I would,
distractions of
I would
whatever.
even venture to say, and as you were talking, that it hit me. Sometimes we start to feel guilty when we put ourselves first, and then people will make sideways comments like, "Oh, it must be nice,"
Yeah.
or "Oh, I don't know. I mean, I have to spend. I have to pay bills, and instead of that, I can't be wasting money on that." And or they'll say something like, "Oh, you better than me." And when they make comments like that, all of a sudden, sometimes it pops in our head. Well, maybe I shouldn't be doing this, or maybe I should be using my money for something else instead of taking care of myself. And then we continue to put ourselves further and further on the back burner, and all of a sudden we're pouring from an empty cup.
Absolutely. I have a chapter about that too, about how we need to put ourselves
Yes.
and make our creative passions as a priority. And I even challenge people in the chapter dealing with a lot of that, because a lot of people say, well, I got this and that and stuff to do. Right. And I'm like, okay, let's just break it down. What does your week really look like? Well, I got to go and do this and I got to do that. And I'm like, okay, who else is in the home with you? What can be delegated? What
Yes.
can be talked about? If you can talk to your husband or the kids or whoever's in the home and say, look, Tuesday nights from 6 to 9, 6 to 8, I'm going to do my creative practice. If it's crocheting, knitting in front of the TV, or just having music on and zoning out and doing my work,
If you
right?
feel like just watching TV and doing nothing, that is on you, boo.
You know what my secret creative passion was? To be a songwriter and producer. I really
Mm.
wanted to. And a matter of fact, I wanted to be, at one point a lead singer in a rock band. You know, uh, I grew up in
Yeah,
upstate New York, so
but
that's what
Sharon,
I.
I'm loving the conversation, but unfortunately, we've
Oh
actually
man!
gone overtime a little bit.
Oh my
So,
goodness! I'm so sorry about that.
well, it is okay, but I did put your Instagram in the chat. It's on the screen right now. Please, 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 everyone, please follow Miss Sharon. Go to Instagram.com/spark your creative, because she drops these types of jewels all the time on her page. So I want you guys to follow her. Make sure that you get the book Creative Sparks. And if you have a passion, whatever it is, make sure that you are following it. Do not suppress your passion because of what you
Absolutely.
think makes sense. You can still do what you think makes sense, but always pursue your passion.
Yes, that's the bottom line. Thank you for
All
having
right.
me.
And thank you for being here. You have a wonderful evening. God bless you. And once again, thank you for sharing with us. So I appreciate it.
No problem. Thank you.
All right. Have a great night. We will talk soon.
All right. Bye.